Hello YouTubers, I am so tired today, so it's been a heavy letter writing day, so if you'll excuse me, I will just doze here and answer some questions you've asked me. And many people lately have asked me what sort of music I like, but those of you who've watched my later videos will know very well that I like blues music, but I obviously have some new viewers, so I will say that I like all sorts of music. My radio goes all day long, and I prick my ears up when I hear something that interests me. And apart from heavy metal and rap, I think I would say that I like practically everything. I might like rap if I could hear what they were saying, but then so many people tell me that I'm best not to know, so really it's blues music that I like. And I came into that situation when I was quite a young boy, and I think I've told the story before, but like all young people, we saved our pocket money and we bought records, those big black vinyl things, and oh, I don't know, we listened to Gracie Fields and Vera Lynn on the radio, and Bing Crosby, and then of course came along Glenn Miller with the new sound and the big bands, and they were all quite good. But one day in the record shop I picked up a record which was by crikey, now I've gone and forgotten the name. Well, a well-known American jazz band, probably got Sidney Bechet on clarinet and Louis Armstrong on cornet, and that was what I called my Eureka moment. It just, whatever you say in today's parlance, sort of blew me away, and I couldn't get enough of it. And I don't know, I hope everybody's had some Eureka moment in their life, something that stimulated you, excited you, interested you, maybe a teacher who has, I don't know, introduced you to poetry or science, or you've been to a museum or an art gallery and you've been stimulated and excited by something which has given you an interest for the whole of your life, I hope. And if you haven't, I think you've missed out, because if you haven't got something that you're really dead mad passionate about, then life is a bit boring, I suppose. Anyway, my Eureka moment was this. I just remembered the band was called King Oliver, and some of you may know who he is, but that stimulated my interest in music. And in those days, of course, we played our music on a wind-up gramophone, which was you wound up a spring that powered the turntable and governor's word round to keep the record at the right speed, which was usually 78 revs per minute, and it didn't always do that, so you had some very peculiar sort of output from it. And the sound came from a very small sound box, which where the diaphragm was energized by the needle on the record. Sometimes when we ran out of steel needles, I used the thorns of hawthorn bushes, which actually produced quite a mellow sound. But you can imagine a little sound box of probably about 2 inches or whatever it is in today's 50 millimeters diameter wouldn't give you very good reproduction, but that's all we had, and we didn't know any better, and it was wonderful to have that facility. And later in life, I remember where I was, so I must have been in my early 20s. The trad jazz and skiffle sort of craze was upon us, and I went to many jazz clubs, and I'm going to put a bit of music on the end of actually somebody who the people who played at my local jazz club, and they were wonderful places. I wrote a story called "Gimme a Pig's Foot and a Bottle of Beer," which, if you know Bessie Smith, was one of her numbers, but I can't find it anywhere. I think I must have scrapped it because it was no good. But in that I described my particular jazz club, which I will now have to try and describe in words for you. If you can ever seen any pictures of, say, the Beatles in the Cavern in Liverpool, you'll get an idea of the size, but very, very small. And my jazz club was over in a room above a pub. There was just one raised stage at the end and about a dozen round tables and crates of bottled beer. And the lineup of my I'll have to put my glasses on. The lineup of my jazz club was well, the usual New Orleans sort of format with I don't know, banjo, trombone, clarinet, cornet and double bass and drums, and they were called the Brian Woolley's Jazzmen, and of course I thought they were great, as in fact they were. Brian Woolley actually was interesting to me because he was also a motorcyclist, and he managed to tune a two-stroke Greaves motorcycle to go quite quick, and that was quite interesting. But probably the most interesting character was the cornet player, who well, it says on here that he was named Jones, but I have a very accurate picture of him. He was tall and thin, and he wore a red sort of neckerchief, and he would play his solo after drinking his pint of beer, which stood around the stage where everybody had provided it for him, and in between each sort of stanza he would drink probably about half a pint of this beer, and the lighted cigarette he'd put behind his ear when he took up the cornet to play again. The double bass and the drummer seemed to be in a world of their own. They were at the back, two lugubrious sort of characters who really seemed to just feed off each other, and the clarinet player was what was he called? Well, yes, the leader was Brian Woolley, and I think he was a solicitor or a barrister or something, and he always wore a pinstripe suit, which was a little bit odd. Oh crikey, there's 8 minutes gone already. Anyway, it was really, really wonderful. The noise was terrific. The atmosphere was terrific. You could hardly see across the room because of the smoke. And we would never let them get off their stage until they'd played When the Saints Go Marching In, and they could keep that going for about 10 minutes. And so they were wonderful experiences. And also during that period, one of the more leading trad band people, whose name again I've forgotten, it wasn't Acker Built, but somebody like him, brought over from America some of the very old blues artists, and I remember going to a concert and seeing Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee, and I think Sonny Terry is the blind harmonica player and Brownie McGee is the guitarist. I'm sure somebody will correct me if I'm wrong. And Well, I was just very moved by all of that, and so the answer to the question at long last is that it's the blues that I like. And paradoxically, and a lot has been written about this, but I listen to it when I was going to say depressed. I hope I'm never depressed. Melancholy maybe, and it lifts you from that mood of melancholy. So music is great, and it's an inspiration and moves us all, whatever sort of music we listen to. So I hope whatever your sort of music is, that it does the same for you. And like Martin Luther King says, I have a dream. I have a dream that when I die, there'll be a tractor pulling a trailer with a jazz band playing, very much like the New Orleans people going down Beale Street or Bourbon Street, playing loud music going through my sleepy old town, and my coffin will be on a sidecar driven by an old motorcycle, and with as many loud motorcyclists behind as followers as can be mustered, and that's the way I'd like to go. Well, it won't happen, but you know, and even if it did, I wouldn't know. But that's how I'd like to go, being played out with in that sort of way. Anyway, crikey, it's 11 minutes. So I am going to put on at the end just one song, one version, one thingy from this record that I have. You can't see it very well, the light's too good. I don't know what I'm doing here. It was taken from an old 33 1/3 record, which was very scratchy, put onto a CD, and I have now transferred it into MP3 format, so it's many generations old, so the quality won't be too good, but I hope you enjoy, and if you don't, then there is always the usual off button. And I'm sorry that was all a bit unrehearsed as usual, but what you see is what you get, and I hope I'll see you again very soon if ever I get over my tiredness. So goodbye.